suppose the first question I wanted to ask you was about the actual character itself, and the fact that, in Doctor Strange you had very much a clear trajectory as in injured and da-da. With this, I mean, what's it like? What is
what's
the trajectory like? I mean, is he now that he is Doctor Strange?
I think, like a lot of these films, there's less character evolution than there is plot evolution. I think there's lots of stuff that he's involved with, but that you don't necessarily learn more about who he is than you did in the origin film. There's not really space for that when you're playing, a tiny piece of a very large mosaic. So, he's evolved to the sense that he does some crazy shit that will probably have to be retro-engineered as to how the hell he learned to do it.
Yeah.
And there's also definitely the whiff of the adult in the room rather than the petulant adolescent he does to the first film, I guess.
Do you find working with an ensemble cast like this, I mean, is that inhibitive? Is that sort of like I can fall into the background kind of thing and just become the character?
Of course, absolutely. And also just that thing of, you're working with people who are very well versed with their characters, who, know them incredibly well, and I'm still finding my feet. And like I say, even though it's not about him evolving, this film's not what the story is, you sort of want to hold your own for the sake of how well received the first film was. And at the same time, I'm quite happy to serve a story, and that's kind of what I do in this. But it's a hell of a thing he has to offer. I mean, he does wear one of the Infinity Stones around his neck, so he's pretty heavily involved in the action. But the daunting thing is just working with people whose, the characters that as a fan you've enjoyed watching, and then also the people playing them whose work in these films and others you've admired for years. That's always a bit of a fanboy gulp moment. And then, you get on with the day's work, don't you? Problem solving and trying to have a good time whilst doing it. So then you become colleagues.
Did you have any scenes with Martin Freeman? Because we've only seen like 25 minutes.
Not that I'm aware of, but then I did scenes with people who weren't necessarily there, so maybe, who knows.
Have you had a chat with him? Like, I mean, just the two of you together, kind of...
About this?
Just about, I suppose
no,
this.
No.
Really?
I don't even know if he's in this, to be honest, no. I mean, I watched, I've sort of seen him in Black Panther, but I didn't even know that he was in this, so...
Oh, really? Okay. I don't know if he's in it either, that's what I'm saying. We've only seen, 25
good, then
minutes.
I've given nothing away. I genuinely don't know.
Do you think... I mean, do you foresee this character has a life beyond this, beyond kind of... Phase 3 or 4.
We'll see. I mean, he whatever phase this is the beginning or end of, we might have to just see whether he makes it. It says, he'll be back. Well, he's been back in Thor Ragnarok and he's back in this. We know that. That's not a plot spoiler. He's in the poster and the one behind me. So, and the trailer even. But whether he makes it out alive,
who knows?
Who knows?
With regards to, I mean, again, I know this is the character was already established. I mean, did the Russos give you any kind of... I suppose guidance in terms of performance? I mean, did they kind of say
they're
he's
great.
very much like this character?
I think, the line that he was the adult in the room was something we all sort of talked about early on, because as you've seen from the clip that they showed, you've seen the clip, haven't you?
I have, yeah.
So he's in the room with Iron Man and he's trying to pull him together and focus him on this pretty sobering threat that's imminent. And it was apparent that if it was just name calling, if it was just that all the time, it would sort of die a death. That one of them had to just go, whoop, I can really take your name calling, you fifth grader idiot, and and go back to the job at hand. And so that was really what my role was.
Can I ask what it was like working with Tom Vaughan Lawlor? Because obviously we have the Irish connection there.
I love Tom, and I didn't work with him, but he's worked with a very dear friend of mine, Chris White. I saw him as well in The Birthday Party. Have you seen that yet?
Yeah, I haven't seen that yet.
It's brilliant. It's a brilliant production, and he's truly menacing in it. So it was great. It was great.
That's really great.
He's a good man.
Did you ever see any of the Irish dramas that he did? Like, he's been he's quite prolific on the Irish scene, like in theatre and what have you.
I probably have, yeah. I've seen a lot of his work, but I can't think of any offhand. But I've seen, like I said, I've seen The Birthday Party, which is, I think it might be off now, but that's him and Toby Jones, and who else is in it? Zoe Wanamaker.
Yeah.
It's a really good cast, and
I won't hold you to it.
Oh, no. Well, what drama should I watch of his that you've
Love Hate.
Love Hate.
Love Hate.
Okay.
It was where he played this kind of a criminal gang leader in Dublin, and again, very, very menacing. and he did this film
He's
called...
such a sweet man, but
That's it.
He
He
could turn
does
the
it so
terror
well.
on. I know. It was like Andrew, your other fellow Irishman.
Yeah, Andrew Scott,
He's pretty fearsome when he wants to be.
He did this prison thriller, Maze, about the HBO riots. And again, very menacing in that, but you meet him in it and he's...
So what was the first one you mentioned?
Love, Hate.
Love, Hate, okay.
Love, Hate. That was a huge hit in Ireland.
Perfectly balanced, as all things should be. I hope they remember you.